Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah,
Hare
you can hear
Krishna.
me well?
Yes.
Okay, then let's begin. And we have to stop at. Okay, let me close this. Yeah. Oh, I didn't post it on Facebook. Okay, let's start. Someone inspired to read today?
I can read Prabhuji. Fine.
Yeah. Is that Suritesh Prabhu?
Can I already start? Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can see the screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you can start.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahūti. Sri Maitreya said, after describing the greatness of emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows. Manu replied, to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you, the Brahmanas, who are full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to sense gratification. For the protection of the Brahmanas, the thousand-legged Supreme Being created us, the Kshatriyas, from his 1,000 arms. Hence, the Brahmanas are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms. That is why the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas protect each other as well uh, as themselves, and Lord himself, who is both the cause and effect and is yet immutable, protects them through each other. Now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you, for your lordship has very kindly and clearly explained the duty of a king who desires to protect his subjects. It is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head and blessed the dust of your feet. Can you scroll down, Prabhuji? Yeah. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. O great sage, graciously be pleased to listen to the prayer of my humble self, for my mind is troubled by affection of my daughter. My daughter is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapada. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities. The moment she heard from the sage, mo- the moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. Therefore, please accept her, O chief of Brahmanas, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every aspect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties. To deny any offering that has come to itself is not commendable, even for the absolutely uh, sorry. To deny an offering that has come to itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure. One who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser, thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. Swayambhuva Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy. The great sage replied, certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage according to the Vedic system can take place. Let your daughter's desire for marriage, which is recognized in Vedic scriptures, be fulfilled. Who would not accept her hand? She is beautiful, that by her bodily luster alone she excels the beauty of her ornaments. I have heard that Vishvavasu, the great Gandharva, is mind stupefied with infatuation, fell from his airplane after seeing your daughter playing with a ball on the roof of the palace. For she was indeed beautiful with her tinkling ankle bells and her eyes moving to and fro. What what wise man would not welcome her? The very ornament of womanhood, the beloved daughter of Swayambhuva Manu and sister of Uttanapada. Those who have not worshipped the gracious feet of the goddess of fortune cannot even perceive her. Yet she has to come of her own accord to seek my hand. Therefore, I shall accept this chaste girl as my wife on the condition that after she bears semen from my body, I shall accept life of devotional service accepted by the most perfect human beings. That process was described by Lord Vishnu. It is free from envy. The highest authority for me is unlimited supremacy personality of Godhead, from whom this wonderful creation emanates and in whom its sustenance and dissolution rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, the personalities meant to produce living entities in this world. Sri
Yeah, thank
Maitreya
you.
said,
Yeah.
okay,
So let's
Prabhuji.
target for today these first 20 verses or even 19 verses. Let's see. And take forward next part in next session. Hope that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Surteja Prabhu. How did you find reading?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. As every time, it's very good.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. So it's very nice episode of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that you have recited. This is about the marriage matching of Kardama Muni and Devahūti. Yeah, let me offer my prayer and then we start. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कथा मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलान् श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललित श्रीविशाख अन्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Once again, thanks Suryatesh Prabhu for reading today Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's continue. Yeah, from Maitreya's words, after describing the greatness of the emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows. So, of course, there is purport wise, there is nothing on that. It's straight, but from the next, yeah, it's very clear. Yeah, we are talking about Manu. After Kardama Muni has welcomed him to his ashram and he has spoken words of wisdom and praise appreciation for the emperor, then Then Manu started speaking. Yeah, he said, uh, to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you. Yeah, here he is saying Manu is now addressing at Kardama Muni and mainly in general sense Brahmanas. Yeah, Kardama Muni being a Brahmana, Manu being a Kshatriya, he is addressing the greatness of Brahmanas and what is the purpose of Brahmanas. So usually we have in India, it's highly impossible to come across a system where there is no such titles. Yeah, someone is saying, "Hey, what is your caste? Yeah, what is your religion?" Sometimes, yeah, it's also a question, but most often is like, "What is the caste? What is the varna? Uh, to what creed, uh, tribe, all these kind of things, yeah, are referred and addressed. And then there is this very obvious that there are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And then there is always a discussion for many years in the past, why Brahmanas are great or why Shudras are not great, and all these immature discussions kept coming. Yeah, even to date we hear across, and then there is some new ideologies that come and says let's abolish all this varnashrama system. Varnashrama system is only creating differences rather than helping each other. Yeah, why should there be such a differentiation? After all, everyone is a human. Everyone has blood, bones. I mean, anyone, and everyone has the equal right, being the sons of this earth. Yeah, so everyone should have the same facilities, same and in that way, the whole Varnashrama system is condemned in today's society. And not only that, um, the Vedas, which is the basis of this Varnashrama system, is also challenged and doubted because of unsustainable uh, mm, society that is not able to understand the right spirit of Vedas and able to apply that Varnashrama system well. Yeah. But when we take shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we come to this understanding how important is that this Vedic knowledge to be used for leading a purposeful life. Yeah, and the role of Brahmanas, the role of Kshatriyas, we can understand through live examples that we come across. And in this case here, Manu, who is a Kshatriya, yeah, last week we discussed about his qualities, and here Manu is saying to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, who is the personified Vedas, from his face created you. Yeah, so this is actually the Virat Roop, and let me open the purport which says that the Brahmanas were created from the mouth of the Supreme Person, and therefore they are meant to spread the knowledge of the Vedas in order to spread the glories of the Lord. What is the purpose of our mouth? Yeah, our purpose of the mouth is to speak. And what is the purpose of mouth is not to speak anything and everything. That's why they say Mauna Vratam is very good, so that at least one doesn't engage in a loose talking of everything and anything that comes to mind. Yeah, to prove that I am a knowledgeable person. That is not the right thing. When we say knowledgeable person, our words should be based on the Vedas, on the scriptures. That is what is called knowledgeable. That is what is the true intelligence. That is what is the true purpose of the mouth. And yeah, the Brahmanas, which class of people? Yeah, not everyone can go on talking, but one who is qualified to speak, yeah, should be given the right to speak, should be given the right position, right authority to speak. Just like in a university or in a college or in a school, not anyone can go and take the chair of the teacher and can speak whatever comes to their mind. There is a qualified teacher who is appointed, and the qualified teacher goes into the classroom where all the students are there, and then the teacher is speaking, and then in that way, that knowledge which is which is um, mm, coming in a kind of disciplic succession, yeah, that is coming, that is being coming from the higher sources, yeah, not with speculation, not with assumption, not with uh, crude unprocessed version is not presented. Yeah. So the Brahmanas were created from the mouth of the Supreme Person, and what is the purpose of the mouth is to speak about the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that all the Vedas are meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means whatever if one is talking, if it is bringing one to close, if it is bringing one closer to the Lord, then that is authentic, that is authorized. And here it is, what is that? Yoga Yuktan Alampatan. Yeah? That Brahmanas are full of mystic power. Yoga Yuktan. What equipped with what power? Yoga power of what? Mystic power, completely averse to sense gratification. Lampat. Lampat means um, Lampat means one who goes behind others women. Yadada vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu sa evana para. In Shikshastakam, the last one is saying, Krishna is such a person. Krishna is such a person. What kind of person he is? He is not just satisfied, but he is always behind the gopis. Huh? He is not just satisfied with Radharani. Yeah, actually, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is picking this. Yeah, he said where Radharani is telling, this Krishna is lampat. He he's not he's not just with me. Yeah, because his sakhis are saying, why are you behind this person? Why are you behind this Krishna who is naughty, who is running behind who, other gopis? Huh? And then Radharani is saying that even if he is a lampat, vidadatu lampato, yeah, even if he is handling me very roughly, whether he attends to me or not, whether he likes me or not, whether he loves me or not, but still, mad prananathastu sa evana para. He is always my prananath. Why? Because without him, I have no more life. He is my life. Whatever he does, I don't care. Because he is my life. Yeah, he is always my Lord. Anyway, so that in that connection, yeah, that means lampat means sense gratification or actually attached to something. Alampatan means averse to sense gratification. So Brahmana should practice what? Detachment. Actually, there are two kinds of occupations. One occupation is material world, is sense gratification. Other occupation is spiritual activity to satisfy the Lord by His glorification. Those who engage in sense gratification are called demons. Those who spread the glorification of Lord are called demigods. So here, it is specifically mentioned here that the Brahmanas are created from the face of cosmic personality or Virat Purusha. Similarly, the Kshatriyas are said to be created from his arms, the Vaishyas are created from his waist, and Shudras are created from his legs. Brahmanas are especially meant for austerity, learning, and knowledge, and are averse to all kinds of sense gratification. So, if we say that we are Brahmanas, it should fit against this equation. If not, anyway, there will be further verses to explain who are not Brahmanas based on Shastric understanding. So, so and then for the protection of Brahmanas, who are there? Yeah, this is also mentioned here. Uh, One is the Brahmanas, and then for protection of Brahmanas, uh, the thousand-legged Supreme Being created us. The Lord created Kshatriyas from his thousand arms. Yeah, here it is still referred up for the Virat Roop. Yeah. Hence, the Brahmanas are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms. Huh. So, in this way, we understand, and there is also in the end of the purport, there is a reference which says that there are multiple things. So, one thing is about understanding of the Brahmanas, yeah, because Lord is described thus Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Jagaditaya Krishnaya. Jagaditaya is coming second. First part is coming what? Brahmanya means Brahmana, and Go Brahmana. Go means the cows and Brahmana means Brahmanas. The purpose of this prayer is that Lord specifically protects the Brahmanas and the cows, and then He protects all other members of society. Jagat Dhitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Namo Namaha. Yeah. So, Kshatriyas are especially meant to protect Brahmanas, as is the supreme will of the Lord. As the heart is very important part of the body, so the Brahmanas are also important element in the society. Kshatriyas are more like the whole body. Even though the whole body is bigger than the heart is more important. If say for any accidentally if one's hand is amputated or still he can survive, but if the heart is gone, then the body is dead. So that is the position of Brahmanas. And then how this protection business is going on, yeah, that is why the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas protect each other. So how are Brahmanas are protecting Kshatriyas? By giving the right understanding to lead a detached life and to protect the mankind or to protect his citizens. This knowledge is which is Vedic based, is imparted to Kshatriyas so that they can rule properly. And what Kshatriyas do, they protect the Brahmanas by giving all facilities. uh, so in that way, as well as themselves and the Lord Himself, who is both the cause and effect and is yet immutable, protects them through each other. So Lord is indeed protecting Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. How? By 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 the duties and regulations that are as per Varnashrama system. Yeah. So in that here it says, um, yeah, Nirvikara. There is this. Hmm. The Brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Lord and Kshatriyas are produced from the chest or arms of the Lord. If the different castes or social sections, although apparently differently occupied in different activities, nevertheless act in full cooperation, then the Lord is pleased. Yeah, it is not that now the Kshatriya, now the Brahmanas consider, hey, we are intelligent, that's why we are the greatest, or Kshatriyas may think because we are the rulers, we are the representative of the Lord, we are greatest, or Vaishyas are because with the uh, go and Vanidya, yeah, the economic development is based on us, so that's why we are great. In that way, if the Varnas are just or classification groups are fighting, that is not pleasing the Lord. What pleases the Lord is when they are work cooperatively. This is the idea of institution of four Varnas and four ashramas. If the members of different ashramas and Varnas cooperate fully in Krishna consciousness, then society is well protected by the Lord without doubt. Yeah? In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, this is very important part, where the Lord is not just proprietor of one body. For us, we are as individual soul, we are the proprietor of this individual body. But Lord clearly states, my dear Bharata, you must know that I am also Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna, Gna means aware, a person who knows of what? Kshetra, of the field. Kshetrajna means the knower or proprietor of the body. Lord not only knows of himself, but he knows everything, which includes human beings, but of birds, beasts, and all other entities, not only on this planet, but on other planets also. He is the supreme proprietor, therefore, he does not become divided by protecting the different individual souls. He remains one and the same. Yeah. So, this principle is, I mean, we know, but this is very important to always remember. But he appears to individually oversee each individual soul. um, this does not mean that the individual soul and the super soul are one. They are one in quality as spirit soul, but individual soul and super soul are different. So in that way, yeah. So this is a prime difference, and we need to understand that. And then now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you, for your lordship has very kindly and clearly explained the duty of king, uh, who desires to protect his subjects. So Manu described the result of seeing great saints, and I think, yeah, I don't know whether we'll reach till 20 verse, but this particular verse, I think, is very, very important, which emphasizes the what is the result of seeing great saintly person. Because here is saying, now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you. So Manu is Swayambhava Manu is saying, just by seeing you, Kardama Muni, uh, all my doubts are cleared. Of course, in the last chapter we heard, because Kardama Muni very shortly has glorified Swayambhava Manu and also instructed what is the role of a king. Uh, Lord Chaitanya says that one should always try to associate with saintly persons, because if one establishes a proper association with a saintly person, even for a moment, one attains all perfection. Mm. So, and then Prabhupada is giving his own example. Yeah, here is referring. In our personal experience, we have actual proof of the statement of Manu. What is that? Once we had the opportunity to meet Vishnupad Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and on first sight he requested this humble self to preach his message in the Western countries. There was no preparation for this, but somehow or other he desired it, and by his grace we are now engaged in executing his order, which has given us a transcendental occupation and has saved and liberated us from the occupation of material activities. Hmm? Thus, it is actually a fact that if one meets a saintly person completely engaged in transcendental duties and achieves his favor, then one's life mission becomes complete. What is not possible to achieve in thousands of years can be achieved in one moment if there is an opportunity to meet a saintly person. It is therefore enjoined in Vedic literature that one should always try to associate with saintly persons and try to disassociate oneself from the common man, because by one word of a saintly person, one can be liberated from material entanglement. Huh? A saintly person has the power, because of his spiritual advancement, to give immediate liberation to the conditioned soul. Here, Manu admits that all his doubts are now over, because Kardama has very kindly described different duties of individual souls. So that is the that is the benefit of association. What is not possible to achieve in thousands of lives, because we always underestimate. Yeah, my life is like this. I'm always not able to keep up my promises. I'm not always able to be perfect. I'm not always, yeah, so we always think that I am not capable, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if we have uh, not achieved in thousands of lives, but when we come across and when we can associate even for a moment with a saintly person, then our we can understand that our life is successful. Yeah, it is my further my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. So Manu is saying that because yeah, it is my great fortune I have come across you. I am all the most fortunate to have touched with my head the blessed dust of your feet. Yeah. So what should we do when we meet? We should take shelter at the lotus feet of such saintly persons. And in this connection, there is a reference of Mahatma. I think it should not be- yes, it's mentioned that the perfection of transcendental life can be achieved simply by touching the holy dust of the lotus feet of human man. Sorry, of holy man. Here, what does this really means? It's not that one goes and scrap some dust from the shoes and sandals or the feet of saintly persons, not by physically graving or physically touching the feet and then getting the dust and putting on the head. No, what this really means that it is that the instructions, yeah, when we follow the instruction, this the position automatically is in a humbleness. What does it mean that we don't see ourselves great or above the spiritual master or above the saintly person? We ourselves see that we are not even we are insignificant in front of his uh, dust at his feet. In the Bhagavatam, it is said, Mahatpada Rajo Abhishekam, which means to be blessed by the holy dust of the lotus feet of Mahat, a great devotee. Huh? And now here in this connection, who is a Mahatma is mentioned. Mahatmanas too, those who are great souls are under the spell of spiritual energy, and their symptoms is that they fully engage in Krishna consciousness for the service of the Lord. Therefore, they are called Mahat. Unless one is fortunate enough to have the dust of the lotus feet of Mahatma on one's head, there is no possibility of perfection in spiritual life. So it is not just this dust, yeah, this dust is already anyway transcendentally transformed, yeah, and special. But it means that by following his instructions, uh, one is blessed. The parampara system of disciplic succession is very important as a means of spiritual success. One becomes a Mahatma by the grace of his Mahat spiritual master. So it is not that one is creating or inventing or calling himself or claiming himself that I am Mahatma, or someone is saying, hey, he's great, that's why he's Mahatma. No, it is to be, what do you call, entitled or to be called, not just like that, not so loosely, but by his spiritual master. Yeah, the grace of his Mahat spiritual master only can one become Mahatma. If one takes shelter of lotus feet of a great soul, there is every possibility of one's also becoming a great soul. Yeah, that is called disciplic succession. And the example given is very much is from Maharaj Rahugana asked Jadabharat about his wonderful achievement of spiritual success. He asked, "Can you tell me how to achieve this spiritual success?" Yeah, because Jadabharat, who was a deer and then later again took a human form and still remembered everything, had achieved a spiritual success. So Maharaj Rahugana is asking, and then he replied to the king that spiritual success is not possible simply by following the rituals of religion or simply by converting oneself into a sannyasi or offering sacrifices as recommended in scriptures. These methods are undoubtedly helpful for spiritual realization, just to realize, but the real effect is brought about by the grace of Mahatma. Uh, and in this connection, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's, we have this Guru Ashtakam, which is the last one. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada, yasya prasada nagati kutopi. Yeah? Dhyayam stubham tasyat yasastri sandhyam vande guru shri charanaravindam. That clearly says that simply by satisfying the spiritual master, one can achieve the supreme success in life. And in spite of executing all ritualistic performances, if one cannot satisfy the spiritual master, one has no access to spiritual perfection. So it is so important when we put on priorities. Uh, Serving spiritual master is the number one duty, and I think there is also a clear statement on this. Because the common man is unable to control the senses and mind, it is duty to seek the shelter of great souls and just try to please him. That will make his life perfect. A common man cannot rise to the topmost stage of spiritual perfection simply by following rituals and religious principles. However much ever we may think that I am a Brahmana, I am initiated, I am now got a Dvija, second birth, I am very pure and doesn't matter. One cannot just attain perfection on his own. Uh, he has to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and work under his direction faithfully and sincerely. Then he becomes perfect without a doubt. So, I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears. This is qualification that's mentioned here. What is that? Karna Randrayar. That is in Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu on how to accept a bona fide spiritual master and how to deal with him. This is mentioned. It is about hearing. And what is that hearing? This is mentioned here. It's not just some mantra is spoken into the ears and then that makes a miracle. No. First, the desiring candidate must find a bona fide spiritual master. Yeah, this is the process how one aspires. And then he must very eagerly receive instructions from him and execute them. This is reciprocal service. A bona fide spiritual master or saintly person always desire to elevate a common man who comes to him. Because everyone is under the delusion of Maya and is forgetful of his prime duty, Krishna consciousness, a saintly person always desires that everyone become a saintly person. It is the function of a saintly person to invoke Krishna consciousness in every forgetful common man. So that is what the saintly persons and spiritual masters do. Huh? Manu said that since he was advised and instructed by Kardama Muni, he was very much favored. He considered himself lucky to receive the message by oral reception. Yeah, and here regarding the oral reception, it is especially mentioned here that one should be very inquisitive to hear with open ears from the authorized source of bona fide spiritual master. How is one to receive? One should receive the transcendental message by oral reception. The word karna randhrair means through the holes of the ears. The favor of spiritual master is not received through any other part of the body but the ears. This does not mean, however, the spiritual master gives a particular type of mantra through the ear in exchange for some dollars, and if the man meditates on that, he achieves perfection and becomes God within 6 months. Such reception through the ears is bogus. The real fact is that a bona fide spiritual master knows the nature of a particular man and what sort of duties he can perform in Krishna consciousness, and he instructs him in that way. He instructs him through the ears, not privately but publicly. What is that? You are fit for such and such work in Krishna consciousness. You can act in this way. One person is advised to act in Krishna consciousness by working in the DT room. Another is advised to act in Krishna consciousness by performing editorial work. Another is advised to do preaching work. Another is advised to carry out Krishna consciousness in cooking department. There are different departments of activity in Krishna consciousness, and a spiritual master, knowing the particular ability of a particular man, trains him in such a way that by his tendency to act, he becomes perfect. This is called Yukta Vairagyam. Bhagavad Gita makes it clear that one can attain the highest perfection of spiritual life simply by offering service according to his ability, just like Arjuna served Krishna by ability in the military art. Yeah, and yeah, here comes in this combination the instruction of spiritual master. This is very important, and faithful execution. The, both should go hand in hand. So it is not just the instructions are coming, but disciple is not following. Hmm? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti describes in his explanation of Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. One second. That one who wants to be certain to achieve spiritual success must take the instruction from the spiritual master as to what his particular function is. He should faithfully try to execute that particular instruction and should consider that his life and soul. Huh? And yeah, this is the word I was mentioning. The faithful execution of the instruction which he receives from the spiritual master is the only duty of a disciple. Yeah, usually we think we have so many things, yeah, but this instruction is the only duty, and that will bring him perfection. So, if you really want to aim for perfection, this is the secret. One should be very careful to receive the message from the spiritual master through the ears and execute it faithfully. That will make one's life successful. So, now he's saying, listen to my prayer, for my mind is troubled by affection for my daughter. So, there is this. Description about mm, his condition, yeah, because he was very affectionate towards his daughter, and then he's looking. Here there is this. Generally, a pure devotee of the Lord or a pure disciple of a bona fide spiritual master does not ask any favor. Yeah, here what is happening? Manu is asking. Yeah, after he is saying, when a disciple is perfectly in consonance with spiritual master, having received his message and executed it perfectly and sincerely, he has the right to ask a particular favor from the spiritual master. uh, which means one who is blessed by the grace of spiritual master uh, can even ask some favor. What kind of favor? And this is generally a pure devotee of Lord or a pure disciple of bona fide spiritual master does not ask any favor either from the Lord or the spiritual master. But even if there is a need to ask a favor from the spiritual master, one cannot ask that favor without satisfying him fully. So first one has to serve the spiritual master, completely satisfy him, and then ask. Yeah, Swayambhu Manu wanted to disclose his mind regarding the function he wanted to execute due to affection for his daughter. And then he started saying that, my daughter, who is my daughter? He started saying she is sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapad. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities. The moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. Therefore, please accept. Huh? For I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties. So, in this connection, um, yeah, what is Manu doing? He's introducing his daughter, yeah, because that is the purpose of him coming here to ask Kardama Muni to uh, marry his daughter. Yeah, why? Why? Because first of all, he's saying she is sister of great kings. Who are they? Priyavrata and Uttanapada. So that to say, yeah, she is not ordinary. And she was his daughter and at the same time the sister of Kshatriyas. She did not come from a lower class family. Manu therefore offered her to Kardama as just suitable for his purpose. Uh, she expressed her desire for a suitable husband corresponding to her character, age, and qualities, and the father himself, out of affection for his daughter, took charge of finding such a husband. Usually, there will be some agents, yeah, some uh, people of the king. Council who will be sent out to different parts of the earth to find a suitable groom for his daughter. But here he had so much affection for Devahūti, so he himself came seeking Kardama Muni's hand. And then what is the reason that she developed such a great attachment or liking for Kardama Muni? It is because great person, sage Narada, he explained the glorious character of Kardama Muni. So girl Devahūti did not personally see Kardama Muni, nor did she personally experience his character or qualities, since there was no social intercourse by which she could gain such understanding. So it is not that okay, somewhere, some place they came across, there was no social mingling in those days between girls and boys. Yeah, there is no co-education. Hmm? There were no, what is this called, gatherings where all come are invited and then they see each other, nothing like that. But hearing from an authority, who is that authority? Narada Muni. Is she heard Kardama Muni from authority, which means when authorities are speaking, there is no in what do you call exaggeration. They speak plain truth, satyam, hitam, priyam. Uh, So hearing from an authority is a better experience than great personal gaining personal understanding. So it's not like dating concepts where one let's try. Huh? Let's be very pragmatic, not dogmatic of marriage where we have not seen each other, we have not no. Yeah, here it is about it's not about the dating concept where people want to stay live together before even formalizing it with marriage certificate. No, that's not the right thing. She heard from Narada Muni and then she got convinced that he is the suitable, perfect husband for her. Therefore, she became fixed in her heart that she would marry him, and she expressed her desire to her father, who therefore brought her before him. Hmm? Therefore, so here in that way, he's asking, please accept her, O chief of Brahmanas, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to you, to be your wife and take charge of your household duties. Uh, so, so in that way, um, Manu is offering, and then here is saying, a wife is meant to help, but she cannot help her husband unless she is completely equal to her age, character and quality. So what is the requirement? So this is something like, it's not like there is a huge age gap, there is a huge character difference, there is a huge qualities differences. Yeah, but alignment of this is very important. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be no common understanding, and then there is a Griha lifestyle rather than Grihastha lifestyle. Yeah? And another word, Sarvatma Nanu Rupam. That purport is that a wife should not only be equal to her husband in age, character, and qualities, but must be helpful to him in his household duties. That is the purpose. The household duty of a man is not to satisfy his sense gratification, but to remain with a wife and children, at the same time attain advancement in spiritual life. Yeah. So anyway, we came across this item about difference between Grihastha and Grihamedi. Yeah, is mentioned here once again. And then, and now Kardama Muni, Swayambhava Manu is saying, he's asking, he's putting a great offer to Kardama Muni, yeah, requesting him that, and at the same time he's saying, to deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable even for one absolutely free from all attachment. This is very important principle. Yeah. How do we know that Krishna is leading our life? How do we know that Krishna is driving us? How do we know that something is happening in our life is because of Krishna or because of our own concoction or is it because of our own decision or desire? Yeah. Here, one example, to deny an offering that has come of itself. When something is happening, when it's coming on its own, usually we are seeing, mujhe kya milega? What is that I am going to get? We will always deal on a business sense to see what is the thing that I will get from that, and only if some benefit is there, yeah, due to attachment, sense gratification or anything, then only we want to accept it. No, then if we ignore or if we reject it, that is foolish. This is what it's mentioned here. Much less one addicted to sensual pleasure. So it is not commendable. This was known to Swayambhav Manu. He indirectly convinced Kardama Muni by saying what? He said, um, yeah, you desire a suitable wife like my daughter, and she is now present before you. You should not reject the fulfillment of your prayer. After all, we have prayed, we want Krishna. After all, we are every day evening we are remembering Narasimha and offering prayers. Please give me bhakti. And morning we are doing japa to give bhakti. When bhakti is coming, when we cannot understand, rejecting it is foolishness. Yeah. So, and then we're getting close. And then he is further saying, I mean, there are a few verses. One who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser. So, if we are too hurried to reject what is coming, and then later we think, I need it. And then what is happening? We are, at the moment, we are in a upper hand because someone is coming forward and giving it. But later, if we reject it and go, we have to become humbled. Yeah, because we have to take a servant position or begging position. That is foolishness. And his pride is humbled by neglectful behavior of others. This is example given here. General procedure of Vedic marriage is that a father offers his daughter to suitable boy. This is a very respectable marriage, which means Girl's father is looking for a suitable bridegroom. This is normal. A boy should not go to the girl's father and ask for the hand of his daughter in marriage. Why? That is considered to be humbling one's respectful position. They think, you are going and you are now begging, yeah, for a girl. Huh? So here Swayambhu Manu is saying to convince Kardama Muni, he says, huh, since he knew that the sage wanted to marry a suitable girl, I am offering just a suitable wife. Do not reject such offer. Because anyway you need a wife, huh? You will have to ask for such a wife from someone else who may not behave with you so well like me. In that case, your position will be humbled. Another feature of this incident is Swayambhuva Manu was the emperor, but he went to offer his qualified daughter to a poor Brahmana. Here we are seeing emperor who is very rich, but he is looking for a poor Brahman. Why? Here, but he advanced in culture. Kardama Muni, though he is worldly position point of view poor, but he is advanced in culture. Therefore, in offering one's daughter to a person, the culture and quality are counted as prominent, not wealth or any other material consideration. Unfortunately, what today we see is where is the person, where is the boy settled, in which country he is, how much property he has, what is his family structure. Hmm? All except his own quality. Maybe if he drinks alcohol, come on, today who doesn't take alcohol? He is a smoker. Okay, it's very stylish. These days we have all treatments for everything. So rather seeing the qualities, people are seeing behind the wealth because they think money is everything. Money can give safety, security for the girl. Yeah, no doubt. But more important is what kind of life will it be when it is based on only money? Yeah. So so in that way, um, uh, Swayambhava Manu is explaining one who rejects is not a it's not a good thing. And Swayambhava Manu continues, "O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy." So here there is a clean. There are two kinds of brahmacharyas or brahmacharis. What are these? One is Naistika brahmachari who takes a vow that for his life time he will not marry at all. And then there is second one which is Upakurvana brahmachari, a brahmachari who takes a vow of celibacy only up to certain age. Uh, After certain age, he takes permission from the spiritual master and he enters into married life. This is called uh, Upakurvana brahmachari. And brahmacharya is student life, the beginning of life in spiritual order. This is further explained. So here Kardama Muni, Swayambhu Manu knows that he is not Kardama Muni is not an Aishtika brahmachari. He was willing to marry, and the suitable daughter of a high royal family was presented. Uh, and now the great sage is replying. He's saying, certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage, according to Vedic system, can take place. And in this connection, there are two things or three things. One is about um, most important is Devahūti was first of all fixed her mind on marrying him. This is first requirement. Uh, she did not choose to have any other man as her husband. That is great consideration because female psychology dictates that when a woman offers her heart to a man for the first time, it is very difficult for her to take it back. Also, she had not married before, she was a virgin girl. All these considerations convinced Kardama Muni to accept her. And then there is also here. There are different kinds of marriages that are mentioned here. There is first class. What is the meaning of first class marriage? Marriage based on Vedic style, yeah, with and then the girl is given in that marriage ceremony along with charity, yeah, along with a dowry according to the means of the father. There are other kinds of marriage such as Gandharva Vivah, yeah, and Prema Vivah, yeah, marriage by love, which are also accepted as marriage. But in Kali Yuga, yeah, I think that is in the next verse, it's mentioned. There are 8 forms of marriage mentioned in spiritual scriptures, yeah, Manusmriti, but only one process of marriage, which is called Brahma or Rajasika marriage, is now current. Other kinds of marriage by love, by exchange of garlands, or by kidnapping the bride are now forbidden in this Kali age. Formerly, at their pleasure, Kshatriyas would kidnap a princess from another royal house. Yeah, even Krishna married Rukmini. I mean, in this description, but in Kali Yuga, this is, I will close it here saying this. The so-called Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas have forgotten their traditional activities, and in the absence of these activities, they are called Shudras. It is said in the scriptures, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. In Kali Yuga, everyone will be like Shudras. So, though by birth we may be externally Brahmanas or Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, but in reality, because we did not imbibe the qualities of these from inside, uh, that's why we are all Shudras. The traditional social customs are not followed in this age, although formally they were followed strictly. Thank you very much. I have to stop here because I have to join a session along with Rahul Prabhu also. Yeah, the Bhakta course is starting. Sorry that I didn't give any room for questions. If they have any questions, please post in the group. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Canto Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Once again, very sorry I didn't leave room for your exchange.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.